let me start by saying what it used to be. Kids would come in. By the time you get them settled down, we would do a couple minutes of independent reading, maybe 5, maybe 6 minutes, and move into a mini lesson and then into a stamina time. Now I can bring them in. We could do longer independent reading. I can start them on a mini lesson and then continue that into the second part of a block if needed. For reading short stories, sometimes it's activities with the short stories. Maybe it's something where they're moving around in different groups. Maybe they're having different conversations, but we can break it up and get all that done in one day. And
really, it was more about getting to do some things that I wanted to do with my class that I just didn't feel like I had time in my class to do. So one of the big shifts that I've made, especially with my geometry classes, is having some time to do a warm-up problem at the very beginning, have some discussion about that before moving into a new lesson. And so that's shown to be really good for students in retention and learning, but with our shortened class periods, we just didn't have that kind of time. And then also looking at ways to give students some choice in what they're doing during my class period. So that may be, I need to practice this skill, but it may look different for some students. So giving them some different choices allows them to feel more comfortable in class.
Well, and I think too, in this schedule, I'm getting to know my students better. And so not only am I getting to know them better, but they're getting to know their classmates better. So the conversations are a bit more developed, more natural, because they do know the person who's sitting next to them for 80 minutes as opposed to 40 minutes or 45 minutes and then off onto the next class period. And so having that relationship piece is so important for feedback and for growth and for development. So it's really a win in every sense.
One of the big things about going to a block schedule that people were most concerned about was losing time with the students and feeling like they could not complete their curriculum. And that's so very important, especially in an AP class, because we know they're going to be tested in May and they have to be ready for that test. And so I am right where I wanted to be. So what's next is, how do I maintain that? How do I keep that pace? And then how do I refine it? Like the things that aren't working for me, how do I make that better?
I'm excited to see the continued relationship development between students, with each other, with myself. I'm excited to see all that we can get done. I think looking at previous years, we are right about where we were last year. In October, on a regular schedule, we're just doing things differently this year.